is up, guys? Super Chris Productions here, back doing another custom minifigure showcase video. Now, I know that I did say when I posted my No Way Home showcase that was actually going to be my second to last showcase for 2021, the last one being on the figures I would be making for the release of the Book of Boba Fett, but don't worry, that's still coming and should definitely be on time. I did get a little sidetracked, and in anticipation for the finale of probably my favorite of all the Disney Plus Marvel shows that have been released so far, Hawkeye, I decided to make yet another figure of Kate Bishop, but this time in a more of a civilian outfit with a small little update for Lucky, or Pizza Dog as he's called. And I also have a few updates on the other two versions of Kate that I made and Clint Barton, which will be shown later in the video. Now, of course, with the time of this video going up, I have already seen the finale for the show. I actually really enjoyed it, along with the show as a whole. I really loved Haley Steinfeld's portrayal of Kate, and I also like seeing Kate and Clint's interactions with each other throughout the show. It was a great story without all the crazy Avengers level stuff, very similar to the comic it was based on. It kept everything in a street level setting, which I actually really liked. But that's probably all I'll say for now without giving away too many spoilers for those of you who still have yet to watch the show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the showcase video. Alright guys, and here is Kate in what I've started calling her civilian outfit. Give you guys a full 360 of the figure. She seemed to wear this coat a lot throughout majority of the show, and I really liked it, so I decided I wanted to make a figure of her with it. She has all these accessories, which I will get out of the way so you guys can take a better look at the figure without so many things covering up all the detail. So just remove this quiver strap, that'll come off. Now, one thing you'll probably notice right off the bat is this figure utilizes a different head from all the previous Haley Steinfeld figures that I've made, or even the other Kate Bishop figures that I've done. This is what the head used to look like before. As you can see, the bangs or the side pieces on the hair, they went up a little too high, and I didn't like that, so I resculpted that side, and then I ended up basing the face off of this image here. But I actually originally got the idea from Aaron, Lingomatic9, which I will be linking his Instagram and YouTube down in the description below. He painted the face on his Kate Bishop figure, and I really liked how it looked, so I decided I would try something similar for my figure. So the head for the figure is actually the Jyn Erso face with painted in eyebrows and eyes and the lips, and then I added all the cuts and gashes and the bruise on her left cheek there. And the hair is still the same Padme hair with the ponytail sculpted, and again, like these bang pieces sculpted, I just extended the hair down on the left side here. The coat was made out of my own fabric, which I cut and glued the collar and everything into place, and I painted all the line detail you see here. It's pretty tedious, probably a lot harder to do than actual Spider-Man webbing. All the lines had to come down parallel this way, and then I had to cross over them to get those little square designs, and I did the same thing for the arms. And the detail on the arms does wrap around to the inside, and I did extend the sleeves using a bit of electrical tape, but I can remove the arms here to get the coat off, so you guys can take a better look at that. I did not paint on the inside of the coat since it wasn't going to be seen, and it was already as hard enough as it was tedious enough to paint all the lines out here, so I didn't really want to continue it on the inside since the coat isn't coming off and you're never going to see the inside anyway. The base figure is just regular Lego torso and legs, which I curved the torso, sculpted the chest, painted the little shirt detail there for the lines around the collar, and then the white under t-shirt that she wears. And then the legs have the boots painted, and that does go around all four sides of the legs. Some of the paint has actually chipped and scraped due to the coat rubbing on it, but it's not too big a deal since the coat does cover it up anyway, and plus I could always repaint it if I need to. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the main figure. I'll just quickly put her back together here so I can get the other arm on. Now for accessories, she still has the same brick forged bow that I showed in the last video, with the string able to pull back. It's painted up to look similar to her bow in the show. And for new accessories that I added, I made this little quiver, since she seems to have like this single strap quiver when she wears this outfit. So it was a Big Kid Bricks quiver. It painted up the arrows. I actually slimmed it down from the other quivers. This is how big the other Big Kid Bricks quivers look in comparison. So it's really slimmed down so it would fit together with the bag that she wears. And then the strap, of course, is electrical tape with a little jewelry ring there for like the ring she has that holds the quiver together. And then for the bag, this piece was entirely sculpted by me. I sculpted a little square piece and then added onto it for all the details of the bag, the little strap, the flap that comes over it. And of course the figure can wear all these accessories. I do have to just remove the hair and the arm to put the quiver on, and that just slides over there like so. And then put the arm back on here. For the bag just slips over the arm. I don't really have to remove anything. Just got to make sure it gets tight in there above the shoulder so that it'll hold. And as you can see, it holds together. Bag sits nicely over the quiver. And then she has her bow. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this figure. And now we can move on to Lucky. Alright, and here is Lucky. Now, I didn't actually do anything different to the original figure itself. It's still the same Golden Retriever dog with brushed on brown paint for the fur, the closed painted left eye since he is blind in his left eye, and the open painted mouth, and a little pizza slice accessory. Now, what I did do was add a new accessory to the figure, which you probably noticed in the beginning of the video. It is this leash, which was pretty simple to make. It was made out of two things, just a electrical tape strip that I cut and glued into place, and then this little tiny rubber band, since I've had a bag of rubber bands just sitting around for the longest now with no use for them whatsoever up until this point. So I tried it on Lucky and it fit pretty well, and so I wrapped and glued this electrical tape piece. It has the little loop for where the minifigure hand goes, and it actually does fit on a minifigure hand. It's painted in dark brown with the little gold buttons, this little silver clip, and it actually has some of the gold buttons on the other side. And since it is a rubber band, it is removable from the figure, so I can take it off if need be. And I'll just put it back on. The reason I made this piece was because I wanted to be able to actually display Lucky with my Kate Bishop figure. So I'll move him over here so you guys can see that. So here is Kate, and the loop actually does fit in the minifigure hand, as you can see there. And yeah, so that's it for the update for Lucky, and now we can move on to the next figure. Alright, and here is Kate in her archery uniform. Again, nothing new to this figure either, besides a new accessory and new painted face, since originally, I forgot to mention this earlier, but I used to use the head from the shell figure from LEGO Dimensions, but I decided this time around I'd try out the Jyn Erso headpiece. So it's the same as before, this time just without all the cuts and bruises. So the eyebrows, eyes, lips, all painted in, and then I forgot to mention this earlier as well, but the eyes are actually painted in a light bluish gray color, since Ellie seems to be wearing contacts in the show, so I decided to add that here. And then, of course, for the accessory, it's just the little tennis ball arrow that she has in episode 1 that she uses to destroy the bell tower. It was just a normal brick forge arrow with the tip cut off, and then I sculpted the little ball, glued it on, and painted it up to look, of course, like a tennis ball, and that can pop back into your hand. And since the bow can be pulled back, you can actually display the figure, make it look like she's going to shoot the arrow. So try and see if I could set that up here, if this will cooperate. There we go. So you can make it look like she's pulling back on the arrow, tennis ball arrow. But yeah, that's it for this figure, and now we can move on to the next one. Alright, and here is Kate in her Hawkeye outfit. This figure has probably the most updates out of all the updated figures I have in this video. The head and hair are actually the same as before. I just swapped them over from this figure here. I only have these 2 head and hair options. I did not make a 3rd head and hair, so right now I'm just swapping between the 2 options with my figures. I'll probably make another head and hair later, but for now this is what I've got. So I'll go ahead and remove all the accessories and everything to get things out of the way so you guys can take a better look at the actual figure, since you have already seen mostly everything else. So there's a lot of new paint and details onto this figure. While watching the finale episode, I was able to add everything in. So I outlined the belt and the quiver and the zipper strap all in gloss black, as well as her shoulder pad, and painted this little detail behind her shoulder pad as well. I also repainted the arm in this purple pinkish color, since she does have a lighter colored arm on the suit. Before it was all one color, but she does have a lighter color arm, I noticed, so I redid that. Also, I repainted the gloves in a more purpley color, as the paint was chipping before. So I decided to redo them in a new color, which I like more. And then she has these little arrows tips here on this little piece, which I painted in a metallic green and blue, since I noticed that she did have those colors while watching the episode. And then for the back, I actually finally continued the quiver strap out of the little piece where the quiver attaches, and then I added these lines to the back, since I noticed as well while watching the show that she did have those two pieces. So those are on there now, but so I'll just quickly put this back together. That's pretty much it for all the updates here. Everything was just simple paint work, but it does add that much more to the figure. And now we can move on to the final one of Clint Barton. Alright, and the last figure here, Clint, with probably some of the simplest updates out of all the figures I have shown in this video. There is not too much different, just a tiny little painted details, which you probably noticed right away. This little circle on his shoulder was not there before. I actually have these black stripes painted the same on both sides, but I noticed he has a circle on his right shoulder pad, so I added that there. And then the arrows on his quiver, I also noticed that he was using some of the same arrows that Kate uses, these little brown bird feather looking fletched arrows. So I painted two of those, one on the front and one on the back of his quiver, just to add a little bit more detail. But that's pretty much it, and now we can go ahead and wrap up this video. Alright guys, so that about wraps up the showcase video and all the little updates I had for these figures. Now, of course, this does not mean that I will not be making any more updates to these figures in the future. Of course, I'm probably going to find some little small detail that I want to change or add to these figures later in the future, especially like giving Kate Bishop, making another head and hairpiece for her, so I don't just have this one headless figure in the back there. With as much as I enjoyed the show, there are other figures that I would like to make for from the show. One of them being Wilson Fisk, since he is back in Hawkeye. I do want to make a figure of him. It's just a base for when I decide to start that. Now, my final showcase of 2021 should most definitely be when I do my figures for the Book of Boba Fett. I still haven't really updated these guys too much, since I did get sidetracked updating my Hawkeye figures and making new ones, as you see there. But yeah, these will most definitely be done in time for the show's release on December 29 for the Book of Boba Fett. I actually did start Fennec Shand, as you can see, sculpt the torso, making a small little bit of progress. Not much else done to Boba, but don't worry, these two figures will be done on time for the release of the show. But that's pretty much all I have left to say here. Again, really hope you enjoyed the showcase. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, that's all I have left to say. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.